The story begins with the fact that the place is littered with human remains. Our main character promises himself that he will reach the end on the last 20th round. All the guardians are golems, and this place was strewn with them. Our hero wants to go through this door, but unfortunately, these golem guards guard him very well and do not let him pass. Standing in front of him, the hero thinks that he wants to put a death mark on these guards and carry out a successful attack. And then all the opponents will receive 100% more damage. Then the hero uses the Night of Death skill, and it gets so dark that the guards can't see anything. Trying to attack them, they arrange a carpet bombardment of ice and flame attacks, but the enemies cannot get into it, as the main character decides to increase his movement speed to dodge their attacks. The hero notices a magic circle on the floor, and he can't dodge the freeze. When the hero was in a block of ice, a golem guardian appeared who was ready to strike him, but did not let him attack himself, as he used the Moonlight of Destruction skill to get out of the icy state, and he succeeds. He has successfully cracked this ice. The hero thought about how to deal quickly with the enemies in one go, since if he responds to every attack, then this battle will never stop. He activates the Moonlight of Destruction, then uses the Blood Moon and successfully defeats all enemies. The hero finally got to this secret door, which was so reliably protected and guarded by golems. At first glance, this place resembles some kind of temple. The hero sees a magic circle and a door in front of him, and he thinks, where to go, stand on the circle or go through the door, but still decides to stand on the circle to find out what will happen. The hero thought that this game was already over, but suddenly a system appears that notifies him of entering the boss room. The entry requirements are a minimum of 5 players, and also warns the main character that due to non-compliance with the requirements, the player will die 5 seconds after entering. He went into the room, and the countdown started, and the hero began to slowly evaporate, and then completely disappears and dies. The system notifies him that he has fulfilled the requirements for obtaining the time reversal rune. The main character returns to the very beginning, since he used all the time reversal runes and spent all attempts, and the rune automatically disappears. And the launch of the 100th regression began. The main character has returned from the game. Although he has almost reached the last 20th round, and he uses the time reversal rune again to rewind time. He is eager to go through this game to the end, but to do this, he needs to take 4 people to the final round. Without them, the game will not be able to start, since the main requirement for entry is a minimum of 5 players. He looks at his classmates and thinks, who would I suggest this venture to? They all discuss their future, who will become who and where they will work. And then we also talked about our hero. Turns out he was a punching bag. His classmates noticed him in the crowd, and the black-haired guy is outraged that he is staring at them again. In general, classmates discuss it in full. One of them told him not to touch him on New Year's Eve and let him go. At the same time, these guys hear someone's voice and are perplexed, which tells them something, that they do not know what position they are in. An angel appears in front of the crowd, and all the people think that this is part of the celebration. Well, they admire her beauty. Angel was not surprised that they were amazed by her. Well, one dude from the crowd shouted, "Is this a cosplay for an angel? And why is she saying nasty things about them?" But these questions angered Angel so much that she blew up this guy's head. All the people were screaming and were scared of what they saw. And the angel said that no one has the right to treat her as if they are of the same level, and even more so to ask questions. She explains that the game will now begin on the 1st of every month. For 20 rounds, people will be spiritually transported to a new dimension to play the game and complete one quest. If they complete it, they will return to reality with rewards. Well, people are even more perplexed, and one thinks that if they complete several quests, the angel will leave them alive. But this is not how it works. Not everyone will survive, because they just completed the quest. Only half of the participants will remain alive, and only people aged 15 to 20 from all over the planet will participate. As a result, the number of participants turned out to be several billion, and after the angel finished explaining, the game began. The main character stands in space and cannot see other people. After the spiritual transfer, he needs to create an avatar. Creating an avatar and, in principle, setting everything up for this is given only one chance, so the main character needs to choose carefully. Our hero writes his pseudonym, Black Braid. He has been using this avatar since his 12th rebirth, so it feels like a real body. And after the settings, he successfully appears in the valley, like all the other players, and one of them even chose the face of a celebrity. In short, the joke is that they set up the way they dreamed of looking. And yes, the hero thinks that people have improved their appearance in vain, since the more beautiful you look, the more likely you are to die. And if a player died in this world, he will die in the present. And then our hero's bully named Hwan Young Min appears, and the main character is not surprised that he chose a muscular body. And then the angel Toxic appeared in person. She counted the number of people who are here, and it turned out that there are only 1,910,000 people, and these are those who were in Seoul. One dude is surprised that there are much less than 1 million of them here. Angel went berserk, explaining that this is not the only dimension. The people passing the round are scattered across different planes with other angels. Angel told everyone to look at their status windows, and everyone's stats were at a low level, and the main character's stats were also almost at 0, and he also didn't have any skills, which was very bad. If people clear the 20th round, then the gods will fulfill any wish. But to get it, you need to become number 1. Everyone had a fragment of a random rune in their inventory, which is given only at the beginning and can only be used at the first level, and then only once. And to use the rune, you need to take it in your hand and think about using it, and then everyone gets their rewards, which they are not happy about. And then the game begins on the first round of the quest. Everyone has to kill 100 goblins. One goblin appears in front of a crowd, and everyone thinks that this is very similar to the game, and to the development of a virtual reality game. And the other one thinks that they were all abducted for verification. The angel laughs at the fact that people reacted like that to one goblin, and then calls 50,000 such goblins. And in the end, 10,000 people were up against a huge crowd of goblins. The game begins. All the goblins are furious towards the crowd, and the main character goes to meet them and uses his skill that this goblin just flies away. He did this because he wanted to make a first impression, including surprise Angel Toxic. Time after time, he easily copes with these goblins, killing them. People, inspired by the fight of the Black Scythe, also began to fight with them. But unfortunately, it was not so easy. The goblin attacked one dude, and the mess started. The goblins were killing everyone. Black Scythe is not surprised that people fled from the battlefield, as he himself also ran away for the first time. But after the second rebirth, I realized that it was pointless. Angel Toxic laughs at how people and goblins fight, the fact that people are taller, and it does not save them. Then she notices the main character, and is shocked that he almost killed 100 goblins, and then looks at his statistics, but it only displays the progress of the quest. Black Scythe is doing a very good job, getting 10 gold and 4% experience. And now his level is rising. He has only 25 goblins left to kill to complete this quest. And it will just be very easy for him. Goblins, fools, all run and run to him, knowing that he will kill them. In general, he kills them with his skills. He looks at all these goblin fools in a rage, like Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. Then the main character decides to take a break, and the goblins stand and look at him. The scythe decides to take a look at its status window. And as we can already see, all the characteristics have become much better. He went as much as 4 levels higher. Well, as in all MMORPG games, you get only 2 points of performance for raising the level. And he puts everything into dexterity, since dexterity is very important characteristic at the beginning of the game in order to return from the attack and increase his attack speed and movement. The goblins run to him again after a short break, and everyone gets a slap on the neck. Because of them, he gets 10 gold and 4% experience. Then his level rises again, and finally he completed the quest, killing 100 goblins out of 100. He killed all the goblins like crazy to attract the angel's attention, and also take first place in the current region to get top rewards. He completed this quest in just 10 minutes, as it is necessary to quickly complete the quests of each round in order to receive rewards. After all, only the top 3 players receive rewards depending on their status. The Black Scythe gets the first place in the region, a low frame ticket, and a chest for choosing a special award. The main character decides to use a ticket for weapons, and he is given 3 types of weapons to choose from: a threatening longsword, a stellet, and a spear. The main character chooses the stellet, and decides to open the chest for choosing a special reward later. Black Scythe decides to enter the status window, and sees that he had the title, The Last Time Traveler. He uses a random fragment of the rune, and gets a time reversal hand. Then the received rune will be automatically engraved on the player's body, and the remnants of the received rune are now in the player's soul. But due to the special properties of the rune, the engraving failed. And if there was an opportunity to engrave it, then the main character would be able to endlessly go back in time. And thanks to the remnants of the rune engraved in the soul, the Black Scythe was recognized as a time traveler who made 100 trips. The main character is shocked by this. The fact that in this game, the concept of title is higher than runes, and they are much stronger than runes, and they are harder to get. And on top of that, resurrection is a skill that only a priest and the main character can get. Very pleasantly surprised with this. Next, we move on to Angel Toxic. She decided to remove all the corpses on the battlefield and sent another 50,000 goblins and burned with people and their suffering. And people became much less than at the beginning. As a result, after some time, all the goblins were killed and only half of all the people passed the quest. And those who did not pass must die. He says, an angel is burning, and a crowd of people is begging for mercy. But before bringing people back and allowing them to the second round, Angel decides to make the results. She is shocked with the Black Braid, why he became number 1 in the ranking, and how he defeated everyone by asking him about it. Well, the main character expresses his dissatisfaction with the Angel Toxic, that the reward for the first place, in general, is very meager. After all, he just got 1,000 gold. With this dissatisfaction, he made her very angry, and now he wants to use the very ability that she used in the beginning to blow up our hero's head. But unfortunately for her, this skill can only be used once, and she already used it when she was in Seoul. Angel Toxic promises to give him the best reward for first place, and everyone else stands and envies him. Like, how so? Angel made such a deal. She asks him to go with him and talk face to face. They walk down the path, and she thinks about killing him without witnesses. And when she turns back to ask him something, he hits her in the face, from which she flies away and becomes even angrier at how he dared to hit an angel. But the Black Scythe suddenly disappears and appears from behind, grabbing the wings to pull out the dagger hidden in the wing. He starts calling her name Riel, and Angel Toxic is shocked by how he found out what her name is. The Black Scythe is going to kill her, but the angel assures that if he kills her, the main character will not be able to go back. And our main character knows how this system works, and he will return automatically at the end of this round. Riel just wonders where he got so much information, and he still kills her. And then a notification is displayed that he became the first player to kill an angel, and receives the title, The First Angel Killer, for which he receives the angel's blood and the assassin's rune. Well, the resulting rune was automatically engraved on the user's body. With each kill, stats increase by 1%, the maximum is 100%, and progress is maintained until the end of the round. And that was the effect of the assassin's rune. The main character killed this angel because he wanted to get the angel's blood. Since only the first killer of this toxic angel is worthy of becoming their natural enemy, the Reaper. All players after the 10th level can get a class of 30 different classes, and they are very easy to change. To do this, you need to get a class change item, and the item can be obtained during hunting or after simple conditions are met, but there are exceptions. Unique classes that are given to one user under special circumstances. We return to the fact that the main character opens the awards for the first place in all regions. It is very important for him to reach the 10th level faster and change classes. He selects an experience booster on X3, and at the beginning of the second round, the booster will be automatically applied. Then the system congratulates him that he survived, and his soul will be returned back to the real body, and the start of the second round will take place only on February 1st, 2023. All the people are lying on the ground and do not understand what happened, thinking that it was a dream. The dudes say it definitely wasn't a dream. Goblins. The first round, it was all real, but everyone pays attention to his friend Kim Tashik, who, oddly enough, did not get up from his seat, continuing to lie on the cold ground. His friends pushed him and checked his pulse, and then they discovered that he was dead. and all the people who lie and do not get up, they all died in the game. This means that in reality, and now they are waiting for the second round, which will take place on February 1st, 2023, and they need to prepare and become stronger in order to survive.